And hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, hello.
Got
Yo,
a
is that a
couple on the Twitch
seal?
and a couple.
I'm
Yo,
favoriting this GIF.
this is how I'm feeling right now. Yo. So yeah, we've got a bit of a weird timing today, so we're really glad everybody's able to join us. Again, if you're not, we have a YouTube. We do capture moments in history forever and post them on the internet for free. So feel free to join that as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. Obviously, you know who I am, Bed Norton, Bebo, whatever you want to say. I ran past tense. I run entry level. Normally, I do host the Q&As, and I'm joined by the absolutely lovely MEMODEMO. Do you want to introduce yourself for everyone?
Hello, I am MEMODEMO. I make music for video games that sound like video games. I've been doing stuff for going on 10 years now, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to introduce myself now that I think about it. I guess that's what I do. I love Sonic.
Hell yeah. Who's your favorite Sonic character? Because you showed us two.
So yeah, easily. So Tails easily, but Silver easily as well. But
Silver's so goated.
Silver is my favorite because Silver's Tails.
Okay. Yeah.
And Tails is my favorite because Tails is Tails. You know what I mean?
Okay. Are you excited for I think they announced the 4th movie, right?
I'm excited for the 4th movie, but truthfully, I want Silver in a movie. I'm waiting for Silver.
Honestly, he's got such a cool design. I feel like they waste him on everything.
So cool. Silver don't even get me started. Silver got done so dirty in so many ways, and it's unfair because that dude is actually so cool.
No, he's so sick. I love Vector. Vector is my goat just because
I've never heard that sentence before.
I love him.
That's
I love
crazy.
him. He's so stupid. Let my boy
You know, that's good. I'm glad that Vector gets some love. I don't think there's a Sonic character.
Like Ride or Die Pokemon.
Ride or Die is, yeah, Sonic Curry, yo, yep, classic.
There we go. That looks
anyway
radioactive.
Don't get me started talking about Sonic. It'll be over.
Yeah, we've already spiraled. But yeah, where are you working now? Like, whereabouts are you?
So let's see. I'm doing a lot of stuff currently. I'm in the midst of several projects. Currently, I just had some stuff come out in Archaea, which is my favorite rhythm game. Anyone who's ever met me knows that Archaea is absolutely my favorite rhythm game. Not even close. I just had a track come out in that game that I did with a friend. And then in the past few months, I had a few other tracks come out in that game, a solo one and another one with 2 friends. I've been doing music for Homestuck lately, which I'm so happy about because, I love Homestuck so much. I'm not going to talk about that either because I could talk about it forever, but I've been doing that, which is super, super exciting, super like middle school me dream come true. And
it's made a resurgence, right? Because I think the animated show's coming out.
Yes, it has. And also there's Homestuck Beyond Canon, which is really good.
Ooh, okay.
I did not know that it would be really good because I made the mistake of reading other people's opinions on it, and they're all just wrong, unfortunately. It's actually pretty good.
Many such cases, yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going to New York in like a few months because there's a Homestuck event happening, and I'm very excited.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. But also, outside of Homestuck, I recently did some music for Unbeatable, which if anyone who plays video games, they should play Unbeatable. That game is so good. That game is such a game for people who make things. I think it is a beautifully told story that could only be told by the people who made it. And it really made me feel things that I don't feel. It's made me feel things that I've been able to tell people have wanted me to feel, but have never successfully really made me feel.
Okay.
So I'm super happy to be a part of that game in any capacity. I got 2 tracks. I got a stupid, dumb idiot song that I made for them. And then I also have a real idiot song that I made for them.
I'm so excited. I've had that on my like watch list for a while now, so now I know I have to play it.
Get unbeatable,
But I've
100%.
heard very good things. It just seemed like such a labor of love. So.
Yeah, it's crazy because like so much of that game is just the people who made it. Like even dialogue
Yeah.
between characters is so much just like I'm just listening to them talking to each other. It's great.
That's so cute. Yeah, that's so like I love when games are so like heartfelt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then right now correct me if I'm wrong, but you're with Unexpected Accessories.
Yes, I'm also with Unexpected Accessories. We are making a game called 𝗕𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗓, which is like a first person numbers shooter, kind of like Doom, kind of like cool math games. Your enemies are these different like equations, and then you rotate your little thing on your wrist to like find the right number, and you shoot the solution.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
also like numbers based puzzles. Like you have an elevator, and you have to like pick the number to get the elevator to move a certain amount of things. It's really cool.
Okay. It
We're
sounds
still
really cool. Like Doom and cool math games, I was not expecting to hear in the same sentence, but
Yeah, right? Me neither. When they came to me with it, I was like, "Okay, cool. This is my type of weird. Sure."
and you're the composing like lead on that, right?
Yeah, I'm honestly the everything audio guy right now. I'm doing composition, sound effects, like
Wow.
everything for that at the moment, which is
Okay,
cool.
wow, great. Have you done like that much before, or is this kind of new territory for you?
There have been a handful of times. So there was a game that came out recently called Which Way Up Galaxy Game. That came out, I think, like a year
Okay.
or two ago. And I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
all the sound effects and all the composition. The only thing I didn't do was audio implementation, but I did all of the
Okay.
like asset creation for that game. Um,
Yeah, so you've done like a good chunk of like Foley work and stuff then too, like on the game.
yeah, which just
Wow.
thankfully comes like it's something that I can do pretty easily because I do a lot of like Foley work in music that I make. So just incidentally, I
Makes sense,
happen to
yeah.
have a big folder of it already. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, especially if it's like synthesized stuff or like a sci-fi spacey type of thing. I'm pretty familiar with making those kind of sounds. So it when they reached out to me, they were like, "Can you do this? And also, could you do this?" And I was like, "Turns out you're in luck. I absolutely can do both of those things."
I was gonna ask if yeah, like the like because you have a very like techie like synthesized like feel if that kind of goes hand in hand with
Yeah,
like
a lot.
Foley work because you get to kind of still make it digitally a lot, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of times if they want sound, so the thing about what I do is I'm always mixing like synthesizer, digital, electronic sounds with like very organic sounds and samples from all over the place. And so
Wow.
whenever it comes to designing sounds, I can kind of just like pick from a big glob of things that I have, and if I need to
Okay.
change it or like add something to it, I know enough about like how to use like Faceplant to get what I need. I'm not gonna be like I am not the world's best sound designer, but I definitely can like get together some stuff that will fit the like specifically uniquely fit what you are going for in these situations, you know? So it definitely
Yeah.
it comes up because so much of my music is me making sounds on the spot or like layering
Mhm.
stuff weirdly. And then I don't know, my brain just keeps track of like, oh yeah, that if you mix this sound and that sound, you get this weird like issue that sounds kind of cool sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like I don't know, it's almost like chemistry. Like you can just add a bunch of things to make a new thing, sort of.
Yeah, it does feel like
Uh,
chemistry, especially working in like Faceplant. I feel like I'm just alchemizing stuff.
that's so cool. This is completely out of my like zone. I am not a musician by any stretch of the imagination. So it's always really cool to see how like especially modern music is kind
Yeah,
of made.
well, I appreciate it. It's definitely a
Yeah.
it's a weird area because I noticed that the kind of the world of music and then the world of electronic music are one and the same, but they constantly are getting
Mm.
separated, and it makes electronic music
Yes.
seem even scarier than it is. But the
Okay.
truth is,
Okay.
if you like learn a synthesizer, you now know how to use every synthesizer. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's not like, oh, I learned how to play the guitar and now I got to learn the bass and there's like a different technique and then piano is a different technique. It's like if you learn serum, then you can do
Mm.
phase plant, you can do serum 2, you can do vital, you can do current.
Oh,
Like it's all they're all
okay.
gonna have little things that are kind of different in terms of like workflow or like organization. But I would argue that like
Mm.
it's easier than learning another DAW if you already use one DAW. Like it's easier than that because you just have to like the knobs are almost always going to be called the same thing or they're always going to do something similar. And at the end of the day, you're going to be experimenting
Okay.
anyway. So as long
Oh,
as you have
that's cool then.
trust.
It's almost like an easier entry kind of
Yeah.
path from more traditional.
Honestly, I would say so because part of the reason I started doing electronic music is because I didn't want to learn how to play something.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid. I was actually gonna ask, yeah, how did you get into like composing and like especially like this kind of like more modern like
So
synth bass?
it's kind of weird actually because the truthful answer, the shameless answer is I was lazy. I just when I
Hell yeah.
started off like I started off as a human in the world and I spawned in. I basically like both of my parents were very like musical people and I was
Okay.
just around music a lot. Uh
Mhm.
I remember my dad plays piano and he would like be performing at like hotel lobbies and I would be with him.
That's
So
so cool.
yeah, and there was nothing for me to do. So I would just get on his laptop and mess with GarageBand loops a lot.
Hell yeah. I
And
love
then
GarageBand.
I love GarageBand. It's fun. And then
It is, yeah.
I got Sonic Rush. I don't know how
Okay,
old I
yeah.
was, but I must have been at least no older than second grade. I got Sonic
Yeah.
Rush. That changed me on like a biological level because I had never in my life heard music that was like made of other pieces of music before. So
Yes. Yep.
from there, I don't know. For some unexplained reason, there was always either FL Studio or GarageBand around. I've never seen either one of my
Okay.
parents on that software ever, but it was always there for some reason.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
and then I remember in middle school, I started trying to make music for real. I had like a big like awakening moment when I discovered like the hardcore area because the issue with me
Mhm.
was music was really boring to me in a lot of situations. Like
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why. I think I was just young and excitable. So like if it wasn't like 900 different things happening, I didn't like it. And then I
Yep.
found out
Yeah.
about breakcore, which breakcore back then is different from breakcore now. That's a topic I will get
Okay.
into on another year at another time, but it was different at the time and it was the
Okay.
only thing that like really caught my attention. And
And what is like breakcore then for
it was
those who
just
maybe
like
don't know as well?
it was it was basically music that was like made of 100 million billion different drum loops that had all been like distorted beyond recognition and like chopped beyond recognition and like pitched beyond recognition and just thrown all over the place at different times. Uh I also got
Perfect.
what really got me, if I'm gonna get ever so slightly more specific, I got into
Yeah.
mashcore, which was like the
Okay.
butt of a lot of jokes, but I was too young to understand that it was the butt of a lot of jokes, and I guess it doesn't matter because I liked it. That's all that matters. But it was
Yeah.
basically, honestly, it has a huge impact on how I make music today. It was just like
Wow.
music made of everything. Like I'm talking the opening of the song is like a 400% increased speed Toho song. And then there's like six commercials shoved in, and then it plays like 2 seconds of Never Gonna Give You Up. And then it's like a bunch of drum loops, and then it goes back to the Toho song. It's like a hundred
That's so
million things.
strange. Yeah.
It was a lot, and all of it's going by at like freaking 400 BPM, it feels like. Uh,
Yeah.
but I loved it because it was the first time I'd like listened to something and I couldn't tell what was coming up. Uh,
Okay. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I remember I ran to my computer There was a video I watched. It was called "The Cure for ADHD: 30 Minutes of Breakcore," and I didn't know what ADHD was, so I just ran to my computer and then typed in like how to make breakcore, and I downloaded a bunch of drum and bass samples and just started trying to do stuff. Uh, so that's how I started doing it for fun. And then
Yeah.
the reason I say I was lazy is because the reason it became something like that I did seriously was because um I I just I was in high school and I got a job at Subway, and I was like, this
Yeah.
can't be all there is to life. Like I can't just like have a job and hate it and then that's it forever. I don't even like working.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, shoot, if I can make music for video games, then it's like I'm never working because I'm just having fun. Somehow I thought that it would be easy to do and wouldn't require any work. So I just like
Yeah.
tried to do that for a while. Uh, and then I don't know, I blacked out and now I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, it did work. Just
I feel like I got really
you
lucky.
kind of, yeah. Honestly, I think I don't. I said this last time we did a Q&A too. Like every time we talk to somebody who's like crazy talented and crazy skilled in their genre, they're like, "Oh, it was all luck and it was all this." But like you guys sell yourself too short. It is definitely a ton of skill and a ton of
Well,
like
I
knowledge for your
appreciate that.
craft too.
I'm willing to believe that intellectually, but not emotionally.
Yeah.
Because I feel
Well,
like there's so many people that I know also who are like the best composers I've ever met in my life, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know, I just don't think it's ever gonna work out. No one like my stuff just isn't that good." And then they'll proceed to show
oh
me
my god.
something that's like tears come from my eyes, and I'm like, I can't believe that you don't think you're good at music.
How dare you? Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
how dare you?
literally. I'm glad every art genre has that in common. Imposter syndrome goes crazy.
It does go crazy.
And yeah, okay. Big fan of Sonic Rush too. That was like my first Sonic game as well.
I love
That's
Sonic.
the one I played with my
Blaze
brother
is
on
so
the
cool.
DS for all our
Yeah.
lovely Gen Z babies.
That's why I have the
But
Sonic Rush
yeah.
Adventure soundtrack right here.
Yeah, it is a banger. It is
Gotta keep it
very
with me.
it's a good one. Yeah. And like I know you found obviously inspiration through this. Did you have any other like video games, especially when you were young, where you're like, oh,
Oh,
this is what I want to do?
oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna give you the short list. Sonic Advance 3. Sonic Advance 3 was the
Okay.
number one that was like, oh my God, it changed everything. That was my first video
Yeah.
game. So it just changed everything. Sonic Advance
Okay.
3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sonic Rush, Sonic Rider Zero Gravity, uh,
Yeah.
moving out from Sonic. No, wait, Sonic
Okay.
06. Now moving out from Sonic. No, Sonic Unleashed. Now moving out from Sonic. We have Undertale changed me biologically.
Oh, that's an incredible
Splatoon
soundtrack. Yeah.
changed me biologically. Uh,
Yeah. Another great one,
shoot.
honestly.
Even I'm thinking, even as I got older, like Deltarune was huge. Oh, Near Automata
Mm-mm.
changed me immensely. Final Fantasy
Mm.
13 too. Uh, slightly, I would say little known fact, but slowly becoming slightly well known fact. Final Fantasy 13 2 is the best soundtrack any Final Fantasy game, and it's actually not even close. The only difference is Final Fantasy 7 remake and rebirth. But I'm like, if you
Yeah.
count those, because those songs are already timeless and then they made them even more
Yeah.
awesome. But if you're going for just like full on soundtracks in a vacuum, 13.2 it solos everything, which is insane.
That's great. I haven't really heard the 13 soundtrack, honestly.
It's good.
So I'll have to. I
13.2
know
is a
like Final
game
Fantasy
changer.
music is like incredibly composed, but
Super good. Super good.
yeah.
Honestly, like I think like Masashi Hamauzu is
Mm.
it's just around the corner when that dude is gonna get all of the because he's already like tons of love and
Oh
adoration.
yeah.
I just think he needs more. I just think he needs like 6 times as much.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like he's gonna get something and it's gonna skyrocket him like even further from where he is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think those would be
Yeah, a
the ones.
soundtrack can make or break a game for sure.
Near Automata was huge. I think if you also count
Yeah.
rhythm games, 𝗕𝗠𝗘𝗥 was really huge for me for a long time.
Okay. Okay.
That game influenced a lot of what I do. Honestly, still now. I don't like, yeah, still now. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
I mean,
stuff.
I love a good rhythm game. I
Yeah,
haven't played them in a while, but there's some really fantastic ones
Play Unbeatable.
out there. Yeah, exactly. It's literally on my wish list. Now I have a good enough reason. I'm like, now I have to buy it because Kobe's on it. So
Yeah,
I can justify the purchase.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Kirby
These are,
Superstar
guys,
Ultra.
if you haven't played these, Kirby's, love Kirby. We just played the new one and it's, again, fantastic.
Really? I haven't played it yet.
It's so good. It's so good. I grew up with a lot of Kirby, a lot of Jet Set Radio. If you ever listen to those are some pretty fire
Oh yeah, I
soundtracks.
love Jet Set Radio. You know, I actually didn't. Okay, I didn't listen to the Jet Set Radio soundtrack until I was in like high school. I just heard about it a lot. The only time I heard it was in if I was playing Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, I would hear it as like victory music.
Yeah.
And that was cool. You know, they should have put one of those characters in Sonic Riders. That would have been awesome.
Honestly, that would have been really cool.
But
But we got
Jet
a
Set was
hamster
good, yeah.
instead, so like I guess it's fine.
Yeah, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Okay, then on that kind of subject of, I know we kind of mentioned Final Fantasy briefly and all of that. Like a lot of these are very like orchestral and like classically based music.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like a closer connection than people might want to like notice right away between that and like this kind of modern synth stuff?
I think the connection between anything is as small as you want to make it. Like, you could, if you wanted to, make an argument that orchestral and electronic world is farther apart than are like super far apart. But I also think that doesn't really do you any favors because personally, my philosophy is that like all music is related to itself. Like it all sprouts from somewhere. It all goes back to somewhere, and saying that like, oh, this is way too different. I understand. I guess it depends on context, but what I would say from like an orchestral standpoint, coming from a person who loves a lot of that stuff, but also like that is definitely not the type of music that I make regularly. Something that I do notice is that some of my favorite soundtracks are the soundtracks that don't seem to worry themselves too much with what they are. A great example of this actually would be Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade's soundtrack is phenomenal. There's so yes, like that soundtrack is what keeps me playing that game because they'll have like a minor boss and it'll have this huge like orchestral kind of like opening section, but then like it will transition into like psytrance, like disgusting psytrance, like out of nowhere.
Okay, that's a little bit of a like
it's like out of, but it's so cool when they do it because it's like, oh my god, you're
sick.
so right. Like that is such a natural way for this to go, and it'll like weave between that into like color base and then like go back to like orchestral, not to be like this genre because like I also think genres are kind of fake, but like just as an idea of how much it switches, it's crazy that I feel like that type of like flexibility only really exists when you let yourself let go of like this idea that they're different. Because we did kind of talk about this before. I touched on it a little bit. I can touch on it some more now, but music, the world of music kind of hurts itself a lot by treating electronic music as its own world from like it's not an island. And if you can integrate it into pretty much anything as long as you're willing to do it patiently and don't be afraid to do it. Like I see a lot of you know, I'm making orchestral and I want to introduce electronic elements and they'll put like a tiny little synthesizer pad in the back or like a little baby a little sound effect, and it's like, don't be afraid of the synthesizer, throw it in there, like treat it like any other instrument. But I think there's
Yeah.
this idea of like synthesizers can be unwieldy or unpredictable or too harsh or too loud or
Mhm.
they don't fit in the mix well. But if you want to make it work, you can make it work. It's just going to take some creative thinking around it, you know? I think
Yeah. No, absolutely.
a lot of great sound like Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example. Final Fantasy 13 too is a great example of this. It's constantly like using these most beautiful string sections I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
life. I would
Truly.
die to hear one of these string sections live. But
Yeah.
like they also have like a victory fanfare that has 808s in it, and it's the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
It makes me feel like I'm in like a cyber tube or something.
That's so awesome. And like, I don't know, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like having like you put it so well, like kind of mixing these genres to kind of just view it as one big genre that's music in general, like really helps
Yeah,
you define kind of like an OST
I think it really
versus
does. I think to go even further on that, I would argue that like making music with the intention of making video game music, I personally
yeah.
believe that that is not helpful. Like, I think
Mhm.
there are definitely camps of like you should make your music so that it doesn't distract the listener, it doesn't take away from the game. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I have never once in my entire life heard a song in a game that was so good it
No.
made me like the game less. That doesn't make sense. That's like never happened to
Yeah,
me. I've always been like, if I have to pause a game because the song is so crazy and so hype, I'm just pausing it to add it to my playlist and then tell people about the game. So like,
literally, yeah.
but we kind of get into this area of like, oh, this is too much of this, or this might be distracting, or take like 10% off. But it's like, no, don't take 10% off. Like, go big. No one talks about this game that has a very like tame soundtrack unless it's tame in a way that goes hard. Like Animal Crossing is tame in a way that goes ballistic.
You're so right. You're so right. Yeah. There you go, folks. If any of you are in music, go crazy, go stupid.
Go crazy.
You
Go
heard it here
stupid.
from a professional. Honestly, yeah, that's a really good point. Nobody likes games less because of the music being too good. I think it's such
Yeah,
a
that's never happened.
yeah, it's such a
I
strange
get like
yeah
if
take
you're playing like Barbie Horse Racing Simulator and it has like a
as you
crazy
do.
drum and bass song, sure, I'd be like, that's surprising. But even then, I wouldn't be like, that's bad. I would just be like, yo, if you played Barbie Horse Trading Simulator, it's gonna sound insane.
Mashcore Barbie game when?
That's what I would say.
2026. Let's get the Mashcore Barbie game.
Yeah,
Let's get
let's
it
get
happening,
Mascot
guys.
Barbie going.
And like, so you said you kind of got into music in general from your parents and kind of having these things kind of available to you. Did you like study formally or
I
anything, or are you
did.
kind of just self-taught?
So it's kind of complicated because I did go to school for music. I'm not gonna act like I didn't.
Wow.
I did go to school. I went to
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
I went to college for music. I got my
Wow.
bachelor's of science in music technology.
That's
I will
crazy. Yeah,
also,
yeah.
in the nicest way possible, I did not learn very much in college, largely because I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of stuff by myself before I started going. So like
Yes. Yeah.
I would say that the majority of what I've learned has definitely been like self-taught or like I learned it from YouTube or honestly like I just learned it through talking to people and doing stuff. There were some things I
Yeah.
learned in college. I learned like college helped me get like specific answers to specific questions quickly.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Like if I was dealing with a mixing issue, I could talk to someone who I knew I trusted with mixing information that could give me something. But it definitely didn't like teach me composition stuff. It kind of like
Yeah.
introduced me to a lot of new stuff, but I'd be willing to bet that I probably would have been introduced to that some other way in like another
Yes. Yeah.
time. Uh I think that the music what I did learn though is that like music education is important. If I
Mm.
am to go on a very small detraction, I think
Go
that
ahead. Yeah.
we definitely kind of get into this area of like, oh, music is just whatever, man. You're just supposed to feel it. You don't need music theory. It's just supposed to like help you with like X, Y, and Z, but you don't need it to make a song, man. That's 100% true. However,
Mhm.
that attitude about going about it is not doing you any favors because it's
Right.
still valuable. I think rather than
Mhm.
being like, you don't need that, that's bad, it's just more helpful to be like, it's okay that you don't have that right now because it is more important to make
Oh,
music. Like, I think in college, what I
yes.
realized is so many people talk about music and don't make it. Uh,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
that actually got really frustrating to me throughout school because I'd regularly meet other classmates in new courses and even teachers a lot of the times when I'm like, cool, yeah, like, where's your stuff? I make a lot of stuff. Where's your stuff? And they're like, oh, I don't really have anything out right now. And I'm like, we're in
Oh,
music
okay.
school, you know? Like,
Yeah.
their portfolio is all stuff they've done for school and like a track they made one time. Uh,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just think that it's part of it is because you're tired at school, but also like making music is such an important part of making music. Like you have to do it.
No, yeah, that's such a good way. Yeah, yeah,
I think that
truly. We have
college
it.
can like
Oh, go
over
ahead.
intellectualize it a little bit. That's all. That's all.
No, I was just gonna sympathize with it. We have very similar like viewpoints in like digital art, especially where it's like the most important thing is to just make things because like you need to create art to experience art.
Yeah.
But if you know the principles of design, it's easier. If you know
Yeah.
anatomy, it's easier, so to speak. And I think
Yeah.
that gets overlooked in music a lot.
Yeah. And there's also like an important part of making music, at least to me personally, is like expressing something specific or communicating something specific. Truthfully, when I make music for my friends. Like I make a
That's
song
so
because
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
like, this person would really like to hear this. I can't wait to see what Austin thinks when when
That's
he
so
hears this.
cute.
That's
Yeah.
like the only reason, like that's what I make music for. Uh but there's also like a lot of bits about I admittedly make very silly music, but there is a lot of intention behind
As you
what I
should.
do. Um
Yeah.
and I think that sometimes something that is really helpful is knowing yourself. I gave a talk about this actually at like an event a little bit ago where
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the ultimate point of the talk was just to say like you have to be an artist, you really have to like know yourself. And it's really
Mhm.
important to know yourself now a lot more because there's this kind of like every like subculture is dying, blah blah blah. Everything is an aesthetic, blah blah blah. People
Yeah.
don't they're not like parts of a thing with like collective values that like create that thing. And then people eventually turn themselves into an aesthetic, and that can be really
Yes.
harmful.
Yes.
I think it is really important to understand yourself and to understand how to understand yourself and be like,
Mm.
I know a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm I'm the type of person who really likes uh I'm the type of person who really likes these clothes. And I'm like, okay, that's fine that you like that. But like if I'm like, okay, you want to make a song, what type of stuff? Like,
Mm.
who are you? What type of song would you make? And they're like, well, I really like Sonic music. I really like Undertale music. That's not going to help you as much because all that's really going to
Um,
do is get you to make music that sounds like Sonic music or sounds like Undertale music, which it's
right.
not that's not a problem to do. I make music that sounds like Sonic music. But like the
Yeah, yeah,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah.
rather than saying like I like this thing, I think you should ask yourself, why do I like this thing? Like what is it
Mm.
about this thing that speaks to me? Because then you're answering questions about like who am I? What type of things do I resonate with emotionally rather than like what type of things do I prefer to consume? And I think if you
Mm,
can
mm, mm.
answer the more emotional aspect of that, your music will undoubtedly improve because you
Yeah.
just are already like unconsciously adding that into what you do.
Yeah, it gets your like own uniqueness versus kind of like mimicry, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really think about like how you guys like draw inspiration versus how you kind of let it fuel your creativity process, which is yeah, super cool. I imagine it's very difficult to find that like you quote unquote to put into
Honestly,
your music.
it's pretty it's difficult in the sense of like you have to do a lot of like growing up. And also whenever
Mhm.
you start a new song, like you're a different person by the time like
Yes,
I will be a
yeah.
different person at the end of this than I was here. So like I have to
Yeah.
refine that all the time when I'm making something. Uh but the fun thing is like sometimes it snowballs into itself and then like the song is just like making itself. And that part's awesome because you're like, this is
That's
so
cool. Like a
great.
flow state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't even have to think. It's just I'm doing what makes the most sense to do.
That's sick. Oh, that's so cool. I wish I had those skills truly. And like I know a lot of people here are very connected whether or not they actually like make video game music. It's kind of been a constant in their lives. Do you like have any advice for getting started with making music or kind of jumping into that from a junior perspective?
I think that jumping into it from a junior perspective, what I would say is just stuff. Like, and that's what everybody says. So it's like, oh, Kobe reveals life-changing information. Quotes Nike. No, it's just like make stuff and
You
release
heard it
stuff.
here first, guys.
You heard it here first. I
Yeah,
in
never
the
before
talk that I
said.
gave, in the talk that I gave, like that I mentioned earlier, I had a
Yeah.
part about this where I kind of say just like hit export on whatever you're doing and post it somewhere.
Mm,
Like
mm,
just
mm, mm.
literally hit export and then make something new. If you're making a song
Hell
and it
yeah.
just sucks and you don't like it, that's okay. You will make a better song later. Like, do not worry. If you make a song that's awesome and you're like, I'll never make something better than this, yes, you will. You will never make something better than that if you
Yeah.
stop making music. But if you just keep making stuff, you will definitely
Yeah.
make something better. Every song that I make, I'm like, nothing's gonna top this. Nothing's gonna top this. And then I get
This is
another
my
idea.
peak.
I've peaked like 200 times. I feel like I think you would just
No,
like
truly.
to I notice a lot of like earlier composers that are like starting out in something or trying to like dip a toe into something, they get so caught up in
Yeah.
like, I need to make this sound good, or I'm worried
Ooh.
that it's usually less I need to make it sound good and more I need to stop it from sounding bad. But like
Yeah,
it
okay.
it's
Yeah.
okay, you know, like you can release it and it can sound bad to you and someone else can love it. That's why people don't like some
True.
songs that other people like. Like
Yeah, that is true.
you can just there's nothing stopping you from exporting a bad song and posting it online and playing it straight. There have been legitimate times. The other thing is like you're in no control over how people take anything that you do artistically. So it's not
Mm,
even worth obsessing over in the first place. Every song that I have had like get popular,
mhm.
100% of the songs that I have made that have gotten popular are all songs where I have had like my head in my hands, just like this is the weakest song on the album. This is I just have to put it out because I want to release that. Literally 100% of the songs that have gotten popular.
That's
And
crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
every time it's gotten to a point where my friends, if I'm like, am I woke or broke on this? Like this song sounds bad, right? And they're like, if you don't like it, you should definitely release it because that's just gonna
You're like, that's
become
gonna be the sleeper hit.
that's gonna be a
Yeah.
sleeper hit every time. So like
That's
you
wild.
have no control over how other people interpret your stuff. But also the thing that I think is important and why I say hit export is that there is a certain level of like intention behind exporting
Mm.
a song that will just convince people that whatever you did was on purpose. Like it does not
Okay.
matter
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
terrible of a mistake there is. I have listened to
Yeah.
one of my favorite. I actually probably have it on my desktop. Yep, I do. This CD right here. Where's My Candy by Kamome Sano. One of my
Okay.
favorite
Yeah.
albums of all time. Uh,
Yeah.
in this album, she has a song and it's called Sun in Me. And
Mm.
on Sun in Me, there is a very, very if Kamome Sano ever listens to this, I'm so sorry, girl. I love your music. But there is a part in Sun in Me where there is a kick that plays a lot, like over and over and over again.
Okay.
And it is not it the side chain is like a half beat behind where the kick is, So the whole song feels like it's choking like the whole time, and it definitely
That's crazy.
feels like a rendering error, like a latency
Yeah.
compensation problem or something. But when I was listening to it, I was like, well, it sounds like that. It's a very glaring, obvious thing, but like she put it on the CD.
Surely she did it on purpose.
Surely she, yeah,
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? Maybe my brain's just not big enough to appreciate the genius behind this move. Because if she
Yeah.
didn't want it, she would. None of the other songs are like this. So clearly it was intentional. I don't think it was.
I love when that happens. Half the time that is like people's favorite parts of songs, of art, of writing is this
Yeah.
like, oh well, it must have been intentional because it's so out there. And then you
Yeah.
ask the artist and they're like, no, I just fucked up real bad.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, I just had a deadline. I just had to release it, unfortunately.
Literally.
So that's why I
Literally,
say just
yeah.
hit export. Like people will just think whatever you did was on purpose anyway.
Mm-hmm. There you go, guys. Honestly, what is it? Perfect is the enemy of good. Just publish
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah. That's honestly, that's such a refreshing, it's such a good way to look at it. Of just like release stuff, have fun.
Just release stuff.
Kind of thing.
It'll be so much better for you to have a portfolio of stuff, and you'll get better. Like if it takes 10,000 hours to be a master at something, my idea has just been to like min-max that stat and try to buff my mastery stat as much as possible by just like farming hours. Like if all
It's
of
like in
it's bad,
Skyrim where you can like jump to 100 by just standing in front
yeah,
of one guy.
literally. I'm just like, if it just takes 10,000
No,
hours,
that's so
then no
good.
matter what I do, even if it's super boring and I'm just opening FL Studio and staring at it, there's no way I could stare at nothing for 10,000 hours. Eventually, I will try something.
Listening, opening the project is half the battle, truly.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any recommendations, like once you do create, once you do hit export, for like things to post a portfolio to? Like I know there's like standards for a lot of things in the industry, but I'm not sure what they do for audio.
So for audio, I think the best thing is just to have like the best thing from a visual standpoint, from someone like looking to get a job, the best thing you can have for someone to see is a demo reel that shows either A, what you do really specifically, or B, a very general sweeping idea of all the things you do.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know enough about this yet, but I can say that it seems like in game audio, you kind of split into like, are you a generalist or are you a specialist? And if you're a generalist, you're
Yep.
probably going to get more jobs. But if you're a
Yeah,
specialist, you'll
especially
probably
nowadays.
get
Yeah.
like less jobs that are more in line with what you want to do and are also probably gonna like be willing to pay more because you're the only person. Like you're more likely to get someone who came to you for you rather than because they needed a composer.
Yeah.
Both are completely valid avenues and ways to go. But if you're gonna have a portfolio, then I think it's a good idea to determine what that angle is that you have and own it. And if you're going to go the specialist route, I would say if you're going to do the specialist route, then there's nothing really stopping you from just making whatever music you want to make. Because if you're going to be a specialist and you're going to specialize in something, then you might as well hone whatever you want to do so that when people seek out your specialty, you do it in your sleep anyway, you know?
Yeah. Would you say you're more inclined to that then, like the kind of specialist route?
I prefer specialist route personally.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things that I like that I liked because they were specialized, like Sonic Rush. There's like 2 Sonic games that sound like that. Final Fantasy
Yeah,
13
I know
too.
what you
There's
mean.
one game that sounds like that. I think like I think I personally prefer being a specialist. I think also just as a specialist, I've met other specialists, and specialists are weird freaks. They're weird, fun freaks to hang out with, and I love them
They
so much.
are. Yeah. You can always tell when somebody's like truly passionate about it because they've got this like really niche interest out of nowhere, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, this
You
is
get
what I
fun
create. It's so cool."
conversations.
Truly. Speaking of weird little creatures and weird little guys, I'm gonna drop
gonna
it
talk
in
about
the chat
W's?
for everyone to see. Yeah, could you please? So, if you guys haven't seen it, Kobe did design a website, and he does have like this little avatar freak. I have no idea how to explain it. It's super cute. Can you explain?
I
Like,
love them. Yeah, I've
The
got
thought
more
process
pictures
behind that?
too. I've got glamour shots of him.
Oh,
Uh,
hell
so
yeah.
the story behind him is really stupid, actually. When I was making Metro Jammers, which was gonna be like my first attempt at making like a cohesive like video game fake soundtrack project, I was like, we should have some little guy, like some little weird scrumply little dude, and we should just make him very easy to like draw and like very
Yep.
easy to like look at and like just a dude. Yeah, he does look like a chow. That actually was not intentional. What actually
That's
happened,
crazy.
yeah, right. It is crazy, but I think the reason he looks like a chow is because the person who made him. Okay, so the person who created the gubbies was not me, actually. It
Okay.
was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my bestest friend in the whole world, Andy, who
Mm,
does. They currently do a web comic online, and they also do work for Homestuck now, actually.
that's
And
so cool. That's so
they
cool.
did all of the Metro Jammers 1 artwork. They did a ton of the Metro
Mm,
Jammers 2 artwork. They're working with me on
no
my
way.
next project. Uh, but we were in a call one night, and I was basically like, "Do you have any like little dudes, just like weird little guys that you like drew in your like notes in school or something? Like, do you just have any like weird little thing that we could just put somewhere?"
Can I
And
get
then
a
they
little freak in here? Yeah.
basically, I was like, "Can I just get some, like, thing?" And then, uh, then they were like, "Oh, yeah, here you go," and they scribbled out that little guy. I'm looking for the picture that they scribbled out because it was so stupid. They scribbled
I'm
out just this
obsessed with him.
huge feet and a big ol' head, and then they wrote "The Gubbies," and I was like, "That's
Hell
it, sold.
yeah.
They're now going to
Enough
be
said.
everywhere."
Yeah, print that.
And from then and there, that's just been the that's been every like it slowly has turned into the memo demo mascot, because at first it just started as a joke
Yeah.
where I was like, wouldn't it be awesome to include some random little dude that like you drew when you were like 11? But now it's like I
Yeah.
love looking at him. I want to like squeeze him and have his eyes like pop out like one of those stress balls
Yeah, you know,
and like
he like
shake him
hold him
around.
in a fist. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I always want to
No
do that.
kidding.
He's they're also lore for the memo demo lore. There's
Yeah.
lore behind this character in that uh he exists in all, so he's like a species of creature. There's a lot of different ones with like different colors, and they kind of take on a vibe. Now that I'm thinking about it, they are totally chow. Wow, I didn't even think about this. They kind of take on a vibe based on like who raises them. And
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
they are effectively the strongest beings in the history of the entire universe. And so
That's
they
such
don't
a
intervene with anything. They just hang out. And like if the world's gonna end, they like panic because they're like, dang, now we have to wait another several billion years for another universe to be made. But like
oh
they're not in
bummer.
any actual danger ever.
That's crazy. I'm obsessed with them. That was such a immediate kind of that was like the first thing I noticed, like visually on all of your stuff. I was like, oh, that's a little guy.
I'm glad. Yeah, I love them. I think they're so cute. I love little. I'm a big fan of shapes. I've been saying this for
Yep.
weeks, for months actually. Big fan of shapes. They are definitely just like shapes and lines.
Yeah, they just are. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like it's almost like ironic that it worked out so well for your music that you
Yeah.
consider like music to just be like, oh, it's just art. It's just sounds that you're creating that represent you. And then you're like,
Yeah.
here's my little freak. He
Yeah.
represents you as a person.
He's on my business cards even. I just have a little business
Hell
card
yeah.
where he's like on the back, he's like staring at like a front facing like perspective with like a 12 o'clock shadow.
yeah, like
Yeah,
the
literally.
Oh my god. I'm obsessed with him. Guys, if you haven't checked out Kobe's website, this is your lore hunting chance to do so. I know we have neurodivergent people in this call right now. I know y'all love your lore. Get on that.
Yeah. I do hide a lot of lore in music. I'm working the project I'm
That's so
working on
cool.
now. I'm is probably the most lore heavy project I've done. I'm very excited to get it out because I've been working on it for way longer than it needs to be worked on, and I want to move on to the next portion of it, but I can't until I'm done with this
Cool.
one.
That's sick. And like, do you have any sort of like timeline that we should be looking out for, or is it completely like
I am at this point, it's done. I'm just waiting on artwork, so I want to release it by the fall. I literally want to release it by like fall of this
exciting?
year. I'm looking
Huge and
forward to it.
exciting. Oh my goodness. There you go. If again, folks, if you needed another reason to follow Kobe on his socials, cool stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And I know some people also had some questions. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy.
Yeah,
I think
I
we
can
had
answer
a couple
questions.
people who are gonna poke your brain a little bit.
I'd love to answer. I don't have like anything to do for a while. I'm trying. The reason I'm being quiet is because I'm trying to not ramble because I'm a yapper and will talk for a long time.
No, I love when people are yappers because you can tell they're so like passionate about what they do and like what they like. Oh wow, we've got a couple questions. Okay, sweet.
Okay, cool. I'll answer these. All right.
Yeah. So the first one is, does the saying "love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life" ring true for you?
No. It does not ring true. I think a more accurate statement would be love what you do and then you'll love what you do. Because I definitely feel like I'm working when I'm working on something, even if it's awesome. Like working on Unbeatable, God, I don't have the words to express to you how much I loved working on Unbeatable, but it definitely still feels like work when I'm opening FL Studio and I have a deadline and a thing I'm turning in and like I want to do good, you know. Even when I'm doing music for competitions, because most of the music that I have in rhythm games is from winning competitions. Even then, it feels like work.
Yes.
But it's good work. I think that work isn't like okay, not to be like too talking about like the world, but I
Go
don't
for it.
feel
Go
like
for it.
I don't feel like working is the problem. It's like working for money to live, and if I don't work, I die. That's the problem. I actually like
classic. Yeah.
Yeah, like working on stuff is fun, and being able to work on something that's awesome I would love to, but like when I go to my day job and I'm like, I don't like it here, but if I leave, I will die. That's the part that's not fun.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a motivator when you know you need to like eat and survive.
Yeah, you know. That being said, though, yeah, I definitely don't. I think that work. What's the phrase? Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. That's what made me start doing music because I thought that that's how it would be. I was like, oh yeah, this will be easy. And it's like, I'm not even working. I was very wrong. But it is rewarding.
Yeah, but it's a good start. It is definitely a good starting point.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, no, and I think it plays very strongly into the idea that like if you love what you do, like it'll never be slow, it'll never be painful, it'll never be whatever. Like
yeah.
I don't think that's a very accurate.
Grateful. I'm never like sitting around like, oh, I wish I didn't do this. I'm always like, this is hard, but it will be so beautiful when it's finished.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to look at things. I think that's a more optimistic outlook, if anything.
Yeah.
And when you like, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, are you freelance?
I am freelance. I am mostly freelance. It depends because I truthfully don't fully know what counts as freelance because I work with Unexpected Accessories as their audio guy, like in-house, but I'm not like physically in-house, but I'm like the audio person.
Oh, but, okay. Like, yeah.
I also do a mostly freelance as like guest composer stuff, or I don't know if it counts, but if I'm doing a full soundtrack, it's still like on a contract. Like when that's over, I'm done. I think that's just how the West works in most ways. It's a little different in Japan. I'm trying to like move toward the like Japan side of things but I
Okay.
know it's a little different there. That's more often you're gonna have like an in-house composer type of thing.
Yes, they love to like hire over
Yeah, they
there
have
kind of
like
thing versus
Bandai
contracts.
Namco sound team, Sega sound team.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay, so you've kind of done almost like a bit of both. The
Yeah.
second question kind of in relation to that was like what does it realistically cost to like start your own studio or work as a solo game dev? And like how did you set up your goals and your schedule and kind of maintain that?
So that question actually has a few answers. So the
Mhm.
answer to building your studio from a physical standpoint, like what gear do you need? What do you need to invest in? It is more affordable than it's ever been. And it's honestly, you
Mhm.
can get away with just whatever you need. Like if you
That's
are
true.
going to do something with live recorded stuff, then it's probably going to cost however a few microphones are going to cost. If you want to do full orchestral stuff, it's probably going to cost you more. For me, it costed me $100 to get FL Studio because
Yeah,
my friend had a license and I said, "Hey, can I buy your license from you and upgrade it to the actual version so I
that's
can
crazy.
export songs?" And then he
Yeah,
said, "Absolutely." And then I did, and I said, "Okay, I'll give this back later on when I get FL Studio myself." And that has not happened yet. So
amazing.
I did that. Now, over time, I invested in like I've got like this little MIDI keyboard. I
Mhm.
built a modular synth, but none of that stuff is like necessary. I'd say to make something, you just need whatever you need for the bare minimum stuff because like truthfully speaking, and I say this with kindness, I say this with love. It's not a mean. I don't mean it in a mean way. It has never been more acceptable to be bad at making music, like ever. Like we
Mhm.
want to hear
Yeah,
people who are learning things and are not good at things and are not perfect, especially with how everything is generative and perfect. And I could just get this somewhere. The humanness in imperfection in a track is so wanted and so like so much an indicator that like you are real and like
yeah,
be slightly mushy gushy for a moment. Music is a very vulnerable thing. Even if you don't think it is for you, it is. You are exposing parts of yourself to a person, and maybe 100 people won't get it, but that 101st person might clock you completely from what you did. And there's no
yeah,
escaping that. Even if you try to make a song antithetical to what you think, someone will clock that. So like being vulnerable and then like sharing that has never been more acceptable. So I would say now more than ever, um, if you want to like build a music studio, there's like free music making software. It depends on what workflow you want to use. One of my favorite composers ever goes by Frums online. And Frums uses this software called Renoise, and Renoise is free. It's like a tracker based
oh,
DAW
okay.
that's like super, super unique, and it's got a weird workflow, but it is a workflow. Um,
Yeah.
Also, just like there's a lot of really great free instruments now. I wouldn't have Serum if Vital existed when I started making music. Like
Mhm.
there's I guess it all just kind of depends. And then also now with how sampling and stuff has really gotten like popular, you could make music like I don't know. You could make some really, really, really cool stuff with bare bones tools. I've actually been doing a few things starting a few years ago. I got kind of tired of using like I'm using Serum for this, and now buying this sample pack, and now I'm gonna go and use this special filter
Yeah,
for. I just started going to again my good friend Aqua, who Aqua's so great. And we started we make a lot of music together. That's why I keep bringing him up.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
he
Yeah.
he and I were like, what can we do with like the least amount of stuff? So
Mhm.
we've started doing this thing where like we're just gonna use FL Studio stock plugins and like free sound fonts that you can get online. And just last night we were having a conversation about how like that's become so fun that don't we don't use the other stuff as much because it's like
Yeah.
why do I want to make a lead on a synthesizer if I could just use the Kirby Superstar pan flute? That sounds great. I love how that sounds. Or like
Yeah. No,
general
honestly.
MIDI So I guess it
Yeah,
really
like
just like
content there.
depends.
Mm, mm,
It
mm,
doesn't have
mm.
to be expensive though. The internet will make you believe that it has to be expensive, and they will also make you
Yes.
believe that like you have to have enough stuff to shoot a YouTube video and have all your stuff behind you on the wall. But you don't need to do that at all, actually. My favorite composers, a lot of them, their setup is just a laptop. Like that's
Yeah,
it.
truly. Yeah, no, honest, like a lot of people, even like GarageBand now, I feel like a lot of people start out on,
Yeah.
GarageBand,
It's
these free
better.
synthesis. Yeah.
It's like, did you ever watch My Hero?
I did, yeah, I did a little bit.
Okay, it's like when Deku is okay, your DAW and all the plugins and all the like expensive things are like all for one or no, one for all. One for all? It's
Yeah,
it's
the
like
good one.
the good one. And if you go into a DAW and you have I've bought Faceplant, I've bought Serum, I have every Valhalla plugin, I have the Isotope suite, I have the Fab Filter suite. Great. You
Yeah.
have one for all. But you don't know how to use it. You're still Deku. You have nothing. So it's you can use like
Yeah.
1% of it and you're not gonna understand it and you're gonna be hurt afterwards. But if you go
Yeah,
in
I
with
mean, it
like,
makes it hard, right? Because it feels
yeah,
like such a peak to have to climb when you have a million
exactly.
things to
And there's
focus.
all
Yeah.
these like details and things and like specific parts and ways to use things that you literally don't understand because you're fresh. You're baby Deku. You just got muscles. But now, like, if you go into it and you just work with what you have, you're starting off already with like a nerfed version of One for All that's more
Yeah.
digestible, and then it'll make it
Yeah.
way easier for you in the future to get more One for All. That's how I've thought about it.
No, that's such a good way. Like, I mean, in like terms of like even 3D modeling, right? There's a reason a lot of people like Blender now versus these previously like studio standard, like mega complex, like hyper detailed things. It's because it's like that's not approachable anymore necessarily, or
Yeah,
accessible
it's
for
scary.
sure.
DAWs are I wish that DAWs like unlocked. Like you had to like play in a DAW and
You have to
unlock
play the
access
tutorial.
to things. Yeah, like you don't get access to the piano roll until you've unlocked placing things in the playlist first.
Honestly, that's kind of fire. That's kind of a fire way to approach it. If anybody knows one, that would be really good. Ideally, do your whole one for all for one thing without breaking any bones. Like,
Yes,
we're not
yes.
endorsing that. That's
Please don't
like
break bones.
not part of the creative process. But like,
Doesn't have to be.
yeah, it doesn't have to be. It might,
It doesn't have
but
to be. It might be for you. I had a
yeah,
friend
there you
once who
go.
posted online and they were like, for no reason in particular, what's the safest way to get your own blood for creative purposes? And I was like,
Oh
what does
Jesus.
this mean? You make music, so
Hey,
what does this mean?
hey,
I'm
what?
very confused.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not endorsing that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
We're just saying it's funny that it happened.
Yes, it is funny that it happened in the sense of I wouldn't do that. Don't do that.
Messages you wake up to out of the blue are truly terrifying.
Yeah, right.
In speaking of like the accessibility and the kind of it's easier to do now than more than ever, so to speak. When you do have to pitch yourself and you do have to pitch to publishers or studios, how do you like effectively do that?
Let me see. If I do have to pitch to studios. So, okay. This is actually interesting because I I can't say I've pitched to a studio actually, like been in a situation where when I'm like, I need to get them to I can say I've never successfully pitched to a studio. I have been put on projects through knowing people. I think okay, so my answer might be like a fake
Mm-mm-mm.
answer, but I think that when it comes to pitching yourself, it is really important to know, first off, know what you do, be able to express what you do. If
Yeah.
possible, be able to show what you do. Music is it's hard to do that with. It's like it's frustratingly difficult at a place like GDC to like have
Mhm.
someone listen to what you do because it's not like art where you can like show them the picture and they can flick through your Instagram and get a grand like idea of like what you do. It's like you need at least like 2 minutes and 46 seconds to get an idea of what I do in context. And you have to listen to it in yerba buena and it's loud and someone's gonna interrupt you. Like it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that a better way to go about pitching yourself is be undeniable first and foremost.
Mm.
Like have a skill so absolutely like crafted that no one can argue against it. Whether you could be the best generalist with the most like you can swap between the most things. Like you're never going to be the best, you're never going to be the most perfect, but just do your best to be as good as you can, seriously. But more
Mm-mm.
important than that, you can kind of get a situation where you can get a situation where you just pitch yourself if you just are a good hang. Like what I have
Yeah.
learned is most people who have liked my music, who have like hired me for stuff, are people that I will meet and they just like me. Like I will
Yeah.
talk to them about stuff. I kind of make it a game to see like how long I can go without saying what I do and just like listen to them and talk to them about their stuff and like
Yeah.
learn like connect with them on like a very human level, and then eventually they're if you do that, they're going to want to talk to you, and ideally you're going to want to talk to them. Don't
Yeah.
do that. I'm not condoning doing this with people that you don't want to actually know, but like people
Right.
that you want to know, seek them out, befriend them genuinely. Most people that you meet in a space are there because they want to make friends, even if they don't really know that themselves, and they're there to
Truly.
network. They're really there to make friends.
Yeah, you're there to meet people. Yeah.
Yeah. So like once you make those connections with people and they really like you and they're gonna remember you, when you like exchange information, even if it's like Blue Sky or Instagram or something, if it's not LinkedIn, just as long as you have links everywhere to everywhere, they're gonna
Mhm.
everyone stalks everyone. They're gonna go and they're gonna look you up and they're gonna go to your
Yeah.
bio and they're gonna go to your links and then they're gonna see, hopefully, like I have it set up so that anyone who I meet who like we hit it off really well, I don't have to talk about music because when they meet me and they go home at the end of the night and we're messaging each other on Discord, they're gonna go to my website. The first thing on my website is my demo reel. And it gives
Yeah.
them a quick way to see everything rather than like meeting someone and convincing. I am personally just not in the camp of convincing people that I'm worth listening to or like worth talking to. I used to really
Yeah.
like worry about it, but I'm just tired. Like I go to
Yeah.
GDC and I'm like, okay, there's all these conversations happening and this circle doesn't really want to let me in, and I've just started to be like, whatever. Like it's not
That's good
worth
though.
my
It's more organic. You get like you're
yeah.
meeting people more organically, I think, than trying
Yeah,
to
the
like when
people
can I throw in that I'm looking for work, you know?
exactly, because it's never gonna be as smooth as you think it might be.
No. No,
And
literally never.
you always like there are people who want to meet you. If you focus more on making friends with people who you just really gel well with instead of people who are in like big positions or work for a big thing, the world's way smaller than anyone thinks it is. Like
Yeah.
it's so small. So you could you like guess this is such a non-answer, but the short version of that answer is
Yeah.
if you want to get people to really get your pitch and like digest it in its entirety, then just make sure that you're a person, like a human person that they want to listen to. Because if they want to
Yes.
listen to it, then they will just like make time. But if they don't want to, they'll probably open up your page and put it on another tab and then not open it for a year and then delete it later on. Like that's all that's gonna happen,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, it's corny, but like be you, right? Like you're going to
Yeah,
attract the vibes that you're putting out for
be
sure.
you. Also, just especially in video game spaces, again, in the kindest way possible, in the nicest way possible, I think that a lot of people in the game space could benefit from learning a little let me put it this way. They could benefit from investing in developing further their abilities to be cool. Like just to simply be a cool,
To
enjoyable
be
person.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No,
There's
I
enough
completely.
awkwardness to go around.
That's honestly, it's such a, for those listening, like who haven't maybe been to an event, like everyone in the games industry is a nerd, a dork, and a loser. And I say that so affectionately. Like,
Yeah,
it's very easy to geek out about things because everybody's geeking out about stuff. It's almost like
yeah,
going to like a con.
it really
Like,
is.
yeah,
Honestly,
if you wanted a space to practice it, like that's the space, truly.
it's very shocking to me how little you'll meet people at places like GDC who want to talk about video games. Most people
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they want to talk about like a game or like an award or like a job or an industry thing. But if you go to someone and just like talk to them about games that they like, that can
Yeah.
already get you so many places because it's like we all play video games. We don't talk to them about work. Talk to them about what they like. When you're a kid and you're on the playground talking to another kid, you don't ask that kid what classes they did or like what homework they have. You talk to them about like what games they're playing or what they like to do at home or just you're on a playground. Just treat it like a playground with other people that don't want to talk. People do want to talk about work if they like what they do, but that will happen naturally, I guess.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely agree. And kind of in that line of like work and getting the vibes and stuff, I'm just going to skip to the sixth question. I'll go back to the fifth. But when working with like artists or like getting a vibe for something based on like concept art and like kind of like pre-concept stage stuff, is there anything like specifically that you look for, or is it just like solely based on your vibes for a project?
That's tough. I was talking about this with Aqua yesterday too,
No
actually.
way. No way. Good
Okay.
question. Good question.
So if I'm working with like in a collaborative sense, or if I'm sourcing someone to like work on a project, I think the first thing I look for is vibe. Definitely. Like
Mm.
100% vibe. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
because I don't want to work with you if you're annoying. That's the nicest way I can
Well,
put it.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like that's how it is. Just don't be annoying. Uh,
Yeah.
I think also the things what I look for before I am very specific actually about who I work with. I think
Mm.
what I look for is someone who cares about making music first and foremost. And I'm not saying that like everyone who does it cares a little bit in some capacity, but I guess when I say care, I don't have the vocabulary for this, but when I say someone who
No,
cares
that's
about
okay.
making music, I mean like I want to work with someone who they're making music in their free time in between making music for jobs because they feel like something in their soul through creating and like
Mm.
there's a difference for them between being tired from working on music for work and like being tired from working on music for play. Like those type of
Yes.
people I really like working with. I really like working with people who have unique sounds, but specifically
Mhm.
it like for me you can have a unique sound. It's amazing to have a unique sound, but a unique sound that will blend well with like my unique sound or something I'm interested
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. Like
I've
that it meshes for sure.
Yeah. Like I have some composers that are some of my favorite composers in the world, but I don't think I'd ask them to do a collab because I just don't think the styles would
Yeah.
merge together, and I feel like that's okay,
I get
you
it.
know?
Oh
Um,
yeah. 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 Yeah.
I think also when I'm looking to source something, I look for someone who honestly, I look for specialists. I think
Mm.
that something great is when a game has a really strong identity with the soundtrack, even if that
Yeah.
identity is like the recent Katamari game, that soundtrack is
Yeah.
so many different things. It's incredible. They have like a
Yeah.
star lineup of composers, but it's like
But
whatever I'm
it's
looking
so
for.
connected to the gameplay, right?
Yeah, it's like they made a Katamari soundtrack. It's like the soundtrack itself is a bunch of different objects, the way a ball in Katamari would be a bunch of different objects.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think that when I am looking for people, I'm kind of looking for people who can do what they do really well. Um,
Mm.
and I'm looking for people. Sorry, I'm like I'm repeating myself, but I guess it's because this is
No,
kind
it's
of a
okay.
difficult to answer question. It's like I know
Yeah.
what I'm looking for. I guess the main thing I could say is like I'm looking for people who really care about music and really care about making something good, and I people that I can leave like alone,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do not like personally, some people do. I don't, just because
Mhm.
I my brain works weird. But I really like when I can give someone a project and then that's
Mm.
it, and I will just get it back from them later.
Yeah.
I don't care how it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I work
Like you can
on
like hands off trust them to create.
Yeah, exactly. I want to work with someone who I can trust to do whatever they're going to do. The person I'm doing the Vocaloid
Mm.
song with, like I gave him what I had. He has not asked me any questions about where I want to go with it or what I want to do with it. I trust him completely with whatever he does. There have been times when I'm making songs for Aqua, for like actual things we're getting paid for, and
Mm.
I will send him a song that sounds one way and he will respond like a week later with something that is effectively a completely different song. Like it's no part
That's
of the
crazy.
original state. And I'm just like, cool, guess we doing circles now. Like it doesn't really matter how
Yeah.
we go. I feel like that type of workflow is really good because something that gets me stuck is when I
Mm.
send someone a project and I'm like, yeah, I want to make this sound more epic and awesome. And they're like, how do you want to do that? Do you want to go about it this way or this way? Should I use these instruments? How do you feel about putting this? And I'm like, you're the one who's making the music right now. This is in your hands. The mental load of this is gone from me for the time.
Your turn. Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I think like also being able to communicate music in a numerous ways is important, especially because okay, this is an important point. I'm going to make this point, I think.
Yeah.
Communicating music in more than a musical way is very
Mm.
important to be able to do. In you, especially if you
Yes.
are working in game audio, because 99% of the people that are going to hire you to make music for their video game have no idea how sound even comes out of your computer. Like what you are doing
Yeah.
is a complete mystery to them. That's why they're asking you to do
Yeah.
it in the first place. If
Yeah.
they knew how to do it, they would just do it most of the time.
Yeah.
So to that, like in that same vein, the it's really important when I'm working with someone that I can communicate with them like musical concepts because truthfully, I'm kind of dumb and I don't really know a lot of like musical ways I'm not going to be like, yeah, I think around the coda you should make this part of the song have a modulation into a different meter. I think what I said was like a real music sentence that you could say, but like I
Sure.
don't
I wouldn't know.
I don't think about this stuff, you know? I'm usually just I think
Yeah.
about music from the perspective of like flavors and colors and shapes.
Gotcha.
I'll be like, I want
Gotcha.
this to sound saltier. I want this to sound sharper. I want this to be more round. I want this to um I think this sounds really sweet. I think this sounds really bitter. Like that's how I communicate things. I'll be like, we should make some I was when me and Aqua made our song for All Nighter last year, we were like, we should make
Mm.
something that's like blue. I think a blue song would be good. And then we made Zero Fish Aquarium. Like, I
Yeah.
think just, but like, that's not the only way to communicate, you know? Like, I talk to people
Sure.
who
Sure. Sure.
communicate like songs as concepts. Like, I like this concept. Let's bring this forward. And I think that being able to speak numerous languages is better than when I meet someone who can only talk to me in musical jargon because like
Mm.
I hate musical jargon. And it also makes it so that like you're creating a division between you and the people that you're working with that you don't need to
Yes.
make. I can if I'm
Yes.
working with someone on a project and they're like, we really like this song, but they'll be like, I'm so sorry, I don't know the words for this. And I'll be like, no, it's fine. Do you want it to be squishier? Do you want it to be like fuzzier? Like, give me
Yeah.
any
Yeah. Yeah.
adjective will work. And then because I'm familiar with thinking about it from different angles, they feel more comfortable with giving
Yeah.
feedback. And then we have
Mm.
a better project overall. So,
I mean, that's it's a great way to look at it, anyways, because like 99% of your players, right, aren't looking at it from the stance of medical jargon, musical jargon.
Yeah.
Like they don't know. Like when
I
I
don't know.
play games, I like it because it sounds cute, it sounds bubbly, not because I'm like, oh wow, the timing signatures on this are perfect, you know?
Yeah, you know. People usually aren't
No,
thinking
for sure.
that. And usually when I meet music people who are thinking like that, they're usually annoying most of the time, unless they're like
Well,
really, really nice. They can be kind of annoying about it. Annoying in like an endearing way, not annoying in like I don't want to talk to you, but annoying in like a you're a nerd type of way.
yes, I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
But that's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
answer.
No, that's a great answer. And it kind of leads us into our last question actually, which is, do you have any recommendations for like royalty-free resources that you would say to like
Ooh.
encourage people to kind of develop their own sound aesthetic?
Yes. So my number one recommendation that comes to mind is Splice. I use Splice all the time. I actually don't know if there's an alternative to Splice. I just use Splice a lot. But the thing that I like about Splice is you can click on this little thing that says rare, and then it'll give you samples that like people almost like never download. Um, and that's cool because you can find a lot of good stuff in there. I think also royalty free is old, for me personally at least. I love old recordings of stuff. Just
Mm-mm-mm.
coming from the
Yeah.
perspective of like, what is the thing about you that makes you who you are? To put it very shortly, I like authenticity. I like people
Yes.
being real, people being like themselves. And in a lot of old recordings, you're hearing like people just talking because they had no idea some dude in 2026 was going to have access to that recording. So like you hear
Yeah.
people like just the cadence that people like talk in is completely different when they're speaking naturally. I love that type of stuff because it's just like a type of real, like authentic humanity in a moment where no one thought they were going to be seen, like being brought forth. I think that's cool. Also tends to be royalty free because it's so old. Like no one can
That's
use it.
true. That's true.
So I feel like that's pretty good. I also think um you can kind of, okay, this is not professional advice. I'm putting this on the record as I am not a lawyer. This is not professional advice. Don't do this at your own risk. But if you use something that is not royalty free, but it's in a way where there is literally no way on any earth that anybody anywhere under any situation could ever find out what it is, then it's fine. Like like if I am making a song and I sample 1/16th of a second of one sound effect from one part of Pokemon Fire Red, no one will know. If it's tucked behind 200 other things, no one will know. I think you get in trouble when people are like, yeah, I sampled that. And it's like the full backing track, like a full 2 seconds of a backing track from another song. You're gonna get in trouble for that. But if it's that small and that tiny, do it at your own risk. But I really think you're fine. Like my thought is always like the idea of sound fonts because sound fonts fall in that nebulous area of like, can we use sound
Yeah.
fonts? Toby Fox made Undertale. And then he made Deltarune. And those games are almost entirely Earthbound and Chrono Trigger sound font. Like almost
Oh
entirely.
yeah.
And
Oh
even
yeah.
then, like I remember I don't know if Toby still like thinks this or does this, but I know that like Alpharad made he uses like Undertale music in his YouTube videos, and he was like, I asked Toby Fox if it was okay for me, and Toby Fox was like, technically no, but I made that song using free sound fonts from online. So if you were to just for some reason make the exact same song using the exact same sources, then it's not really in
No
my
who's
hands
to
anymore.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
my statement on
Honestly.
that. I think splice old recordings if you can find them. Internet Archive is your friend, but
Mm,
also if you're really sharp with it, you can sample anything. I sample I can say I sample a lot of stuff, and I will make no comment onto whether or not the things I sample are sampleable or allowed. But what I can say is most of the things I sampled are so put into the song and so tucked into like an overarching idea that you would never know. The stuff that people do know, I have them notice it on purpose because I put it somewhere, but there's so much other
Yeah.
stuff happening behind the scenes that's like, uh, I'll put it this way. I don't even know what it is because what I do is I go into XO, which if y'all don't know, XO is like a plugin that takes you like tell it to read a folder and it'll organize all the sound sources in that folder into like a scatter plot based on their like frequency response. I have
Mm,
XO. I just tell it to read my entire hard drive, any audio that
that's
ever gets
crazy.
recorded. So it's like
That's
thousands.
diabolical. Like your poor PC. Oh my
It's
god.
crazy. No, it's literally like thousands and thousands and thousands of just like random sounds from things. I'll literally just
Yeah.
swing my mouse around there all over the place and I'll pull something out. I don't even know what it is. So I'm like, there's no way that anyone else could know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, once you like manipulate, especially like a sound enough, it becomes its own
Yeah, it becomes its
sound
own
in a
thing.
lot of ways. Yeah,
100%. And like
for
also
sure.
people aren't gonna know like no one is ever gonna be like, excuse me, did you use the whistle sound from the Sonic CD sound file and then lather it in two different instances of distortion and reverb and then put it on this song and think I wouldn't notice?
How
Like,
dare you? Yeah.
right? My answer would be yes, I did. And it's weird that you noticed, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, at that point, I'm more shocked that you got that.
Yeah, right? Like I feel like we
Then,
should be
yeah,
friends
like,
because you have
okay,
an
yeah.
incredible power.
You got me, dog. Like, literally. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, yeah. I think, yeah, people get so caught up in creating that
Yeah,
oftentimes they don't create. But
yeah.
truly, you just
Don't worry
gotta
about
do
it.
it.
You just gotta do it. Just make stuff. The world is better with whatever you have to put into it. And it doesn't matter what you make, there's always someone who's your biggest fan and they just don't know you're there yet. Like everyone
Yeah.
is looking for exactly what you have to offer. You just have to offer it. And it doesn't even have to
Yes,
be different.
truly.
It just has to be findable for them, you know?
Yes. And the more you create, the more findable you become, truly.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that very nice note, I think that's actually an awesome spot to kind of end it with that very, like, optimistic output. I know a lot of people stuck around if you had to go just because of timing, but thank you to everybody for joining. And like a huge thank you, Kobe, MEMODEMO, whichever you
Thank
prefer, for
you.
hanging out with us. This was so cool. It was so cool to see somebody like, I don't know, you talked about how like you can really tell when somebody's passionate about their like what they like. And I feel like for like this whole hour and a half, you could just see that you were like, yeah, I get to talk about what I like to do. And it
Thank
was
you.
really cool. It was
I
really
appreciate
cool.
it. Thanks for letting me
Yeah.
ramble for so long about stuff. I
No,
love getting a chance
yeah.
to share.
Yeah. Are you headed to GDC this year?
I sure am. 5th year in a row.
There you go. So if anybody
Fifth one
else is
around.
heading to GDC, see if you can
Yeah.
spot Kobe somewhere.
If any of y'all are
I
there, I'll be
know
wearing
a
a
couple
blue
of people
shirt that
are.
says "Need help? Ask me." That'll be me.
There you go. He's gonna look like those little freaks
Yeah,
with the
I'll
little
be one of
star.
the. I'll have a full
That's
outfit
actually a photo
actually.
of him. Yeah.
That'll be me. A
But
lot of people
yeah,
I see are heading there. That'll be cool. Yeah, we should meet up. I'll find y'all in the gardens.
yeah. So say hi if you can. If not, thank you for joining us and saying hi here digitally.
Yeah,
And yeah, have a great weekend, Kobe. Thanks for joining
yeah.
us.
You too. Thank you for bringing me on.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon or evening
Bye
or
bye,
whatever it
everybody.
is. Bye bye.